Now, look what I've been doing. I've made some bread. And this is the bread recipe which you can find in the Bealtaine Cottage Guide to the Deep Midwinter. This is the easy peasy bread. You do not have to knead it. You simply, the night before you bake it, you just mix it all up in a bowl. You don't even have to handle it. You cover the bowl with the cloth and the next morning you bake it in one of these. And this is called a Dutch oven. It has a big heavy lid. It's cast iron. It's enamelled cast iron. So it's just cooling down at the moment. And it smells gorgeous. So I'll just put the cloth over the top of it. And there you go. It'll soon be ready for slicing, and I'm going to have tea with fresh bread, with one slice with peanut butter on and the other slice with Marmite on. Sunday morning, and it's a beautiful, beautiful day. So I wanted to share with you the bread that I made last night. And this is the recipe from this book. It's a little bit of a plug for the book, I know. But there you go. This is how I make my living, through my writing. The bread, by the way, is delicious. And this one, I added sunflower seeds to it and pumpkin seeds and milled linseed. So it's particularly delicious and good for you. Now, I'm going to take you outside. This is the new sitting room. I've jigged things around in here in order to make it more cosy for the winter. Because the winter begins on the first day of November in the Celtic calendar. And you know, you can really feel that chill coming in now. So last night I had the stove lit, and you can see I've got my laptop over there, and I was just sat in here knitting, drinking tea, watching a few things on the laptop on YouTube. Oh, and it was so cosy and lovely. So it's time to cozy up, folks. This is the gorgeous view from my back door, just at this point in time with all these wonderful colours. And you can see, look at this, isn't it amazing? All these lovely autumn colours. I think autumn has got to be a lot more colourful than spring, you know. It's fabulous, really. So we'll go for a little bit of a walk. Hey, Jack? So I'm just inside the barn at the moment. Lots of turf and lots of logs. And I think I'm just about ready now for the winter. The 3 months of cold and general chilliness. I'll just show you the view from here, by the way, which is gorgeous. How's that for a view from a barn? It looks quite picturesque, doesn't it? But this is the south side of the barn here, you see. And I never enclosed this in order for the sun and the heat to get into the barn. And it's a lovely little space. And it's very light because parts of the roof here has got the sort of perspex stuff in it, you know. So this was one of the sort of investment tasks that I put in place when I first was renovating the cottage. A German friend of mine, Tomas, came and built this for me, and I think the total cost was only about €400 or €500, you know, something like that. But the best investment you can make. I think that when you decide to live this kind of life and kind of go and you live in the country, then you really do need to think in terms of a place to store wood and fuel and work and do all kinds of general tasks that you don't have room for in the cottage, or you know, you need to do outdoors, and also a place just to be outdoors that's at least partially open to the beautiful seasons. So we'll walk a little bit further. You can see the beautiful carpet of colour now, and this beech tree has almost lost all its leaves. So there's lots of light coming through now. This is one of the lovely things, you know, about autumn and winter. You get much more light. And unlike the summer, it's not like a dazzling light. It's a beautiful, silvery, sort of enchanting light. Look at this. You see what I mean by light? So even the leaves are casting shadows, because the sun is lower in the sky, and of course it's on the descent, so it'll keep going lower and lower right up until the winter solstice, which is of course midwinter. Just a little bit of a pan around the end of the path here, just by the entrance to the fairy wood, and lots of the beautiful shaggy inkcap mushrooms which are now coming up. And of course this is why they're called shaggy inkcap, because if you don't harvest them after a day or two, they start to dissolve and you get this incredible ink coming from them. So that's the shaggy inkcap, which are delicious when fresh. This is the shaggy inkcap when fresh, and you can pick them like this and fry them, and they're delicious on toast. The beautiful bistort, the flowers of the bistort are this stunning pink at this time of year. This is the low growing one. There is a much taller version of this. And you can see here also the cotoneaster, which is a ground cover one, and that lovely golden oregano is still in bloom. And some stunning colours now coming down the driveway. Just fabulous. And this is what I wanted to show you the other day. Can you see? There's a huge nest at the top of the tree there. Isn't that amazing? Perhaps a crow nest. It's quite high up. See the leaves continuing to fall, almost on cue. So I have the spade down here because I've been clearing just further up along the pond there. Quite arduous work. And my back's a bit sore and sciatica has set in again, but a hot water bottle normally sorts it all out, and a little bit of a rest. But it's so worth it in order to keep the streams clear. I say streams because this goes all the way back to the spring well up in the fairy wood. And there's been quite a lot of rain, you see, so the leaves are being washed through very quickly. So this is the area, well, one of the areas of the stream that I've been clearing and also digging out, because I'm digging out these little curves in order to create more and more water. Because of course this pond here, I made a huge mistake. Didn't make a lot of mistakes when doing all this, but at the beginning I made a huge mistake of making this pond a very, very wide up here, and it was going down to a very small area. So I'm thinking to myself now to have more of a stream going through here, and just to allow the silt to back up on either side. So you can see here where I've been digging out some of the silt and the weed and banking it up. It's working, it's beginning to run quite well through this area, and you see the intention is to follow this line all the way down and then to make shallower little mini ponds all the way up the stream. So if you look here in the upper pond, or the silt pond, this is what's happened naturally. This was one big pond, and it's now come down to a stream rather than a big pond. So because of all the silt, you can see the silt there at the bottom of the stream bed. There's a huge amount of water washed down from the hill. You know, the erosion is going on all the time, and so it's inclined to settle down here given half a chance. I'll show you what I've done further up here. So this is a stream coming down, and I've widened it a little bit there. A little bit of a natural waterfall happening there. So I've dug it out a little bit more here, widened it, and again kind of helped to create a little natural waterfall by putting a few stones in, because it's all different heights, different layers. So you can see it's following the course it wants to follow itself. This is the course that it's chosen. So I've been clearing out the stream bed coming from the spring well up there, and I've also been digging out some of the bank just to allow the water a bit more room as it falls down from that upper stream. It's quite interesting because initially the stream was all on one level, but there's been so many little waterfalls created by the sheer force of the water. And then this is one of the little drainage ditches which I cleared yesterday as well. So that water's flowing nice and free and joining this down here. So I'm just walking back up towards the cottage. We go along this path. The battery's quite low now, so it may cut out. But we'll just keep going until the end. So I'm going to go back up to the cottage, get my wellies on, because I have my walking shoes on at the moment. These are the ones that I bought last week or the week before, and they're pretty comfy, I can tell you. And so I'm going to go up there get my wellies on and my old clothes and come down and do a little bit more work. I've got quite a bit of work to do. I want to move all this into one big pile away from the path, and that's just for starters. But it's a beautiful day and I look forward to the good, healthy outdoors work. So blessings to you all, my friends, and have a lovely day. I know the hour's gone on the clock, but I'm not paying any attention to that nonsense. The cottage clocks will remain the same. Blessings to you all. A little pan around so you can get to see these colours. Quite beautiful. Just trying to get all the colours into shot. I love the way the feverfew just set itself here in this pot that I did last year. Or was it this year? I think it was this year I did this pot. And it is a kind of a yucca in it. It's a cordyline of sorts, I think, but more like a yucca. And a little pan of the beautiful gable garden, which is approximately 1 year old. So it's looking rather lovely, I think. It's come on very well, but then I do put that down to homemade compost and homegrown compost. And I should be planting out these cordylines quite soon because they've grown, I think they've kind of grown out of the pots. So time for a transplant. That's the sweet bay, the rosemary and the hebees and the rose at the back of the shed and the forsythia there on the bank. Ah, did I say goodbye? Well, this is the proper blessings to you all because I've just lit the stove. Yeah. And myself and the boy are going to be settling down now for a wee while anyway. I've done a fair bit of work down the garden and I just feel ready for a relax. So there's the clock up there at the old time. Do you know, I feel as though I've gone through an entire day already. Isn't it amazing the difference that 1 hour makes? And I've also picked some flowers. Look, it's all got flowers in bloom. So there's fennel over there and feverfew. And, oh, I can never remember the name of that little flower. there that's just below the feverfew. It's one of those names that just has always eluded me, you know? It's interesting, isn't it? There are some words and some names that don't seem to stick in your head. Oh, well, my head anyway. But we don't want to go there talking about what's inside my head, because I have always, since I was a child, lived in quite a different universe from the rest of those I've known, even my family. And here's something. I didn't speak until I was 3 years old. I was what was diagnosed as an elective mute. So Lord knows what's in my head. So blessings to you all on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Blessings.